Alright, this lesson is the introduction to creating web pages. This is our new topic, and what we're going to start doing today in this lesson is taking a look at the raw coded way to do web pages. Then we'll get a bit more sophisticated and we'll hide all the nitty-gritty details, but we're going to learn it first using what we call pure HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You're looking at our school web page right now. Did you ever wonder, what exactly is behind this? Like, what is making this do what it's doing? And I'm just going to click over here for a sec and show you what they call the source code. Do not be alarmed. I know it looks kind of scary, but this code underneath here is what somebody, me, Mr. Shirelli, and some of my students did to create our school web page. Alright, so you see all these funny commands here. Some of them have these little angle things. And we're going to learn some of this over the next couple of days. This is called HTML. Alright, so this is all the code that it takes just to make the opening screen. And then there's other code on other pages. This is just what's on the very first screen, so you can see it's quite a bit of stuff there. Some of it seems kind of like you have a rough idea what it is, but most of it kind of looks like weird symbols and logic. Okay, and that's what we're going to learn today. So how do you do this and what program do you use? Well, when you create a web page, you have to use what's called a web page editor. And the one that we're going to use in grade 9 BTT is this one called First Page 2000. And you already see it in this weird code. This is the underground. This is the HTML that we're going to learn. Now, just to get us started on the fresh screen, I'm just going to show you. The way you get that page is you go to Start Manager and you pick an HTML document, and it comes up with this screen here. And what you'll see there at the very top, it has HTML. And at the very bottom, hey, there's another HTML. But this one has a little backslash on it. Okay? So every beginning tag, as they call it in web design, has a closing tag. There's another one. This is the heading tag. And like right there is the closing heading tag. This is the title tag. And right after it is the closing title tag. And then this is the most important part of the whole thing. This is the body. This is where most of your code to show pictures, to say some words on a web page go. Okay, that's called the body. Now, what makes this program so cool is, and me included, I don't memorize every command there is in HTML. What this program allows me to do is when I need certain things, it allows me to press them, and it'll put the codes in for me. Okay, so actually we're going to start off with the standard tab. That's the one that we're going to use to start us off. And I'll just give you a very simple example. I'm just going to write my name to start off. And you've created a web page. Right? Now, how do you get to see it? Well, what you should always do when you create a web page, obviously, is save it. So I'll do a save all. And it doesn't matter exactly where you save it. I'll save it on my temp drive here on my computer. And I'll call this my first web page, and I'll press save. Okay, now how do you actually see what it looks like if you were going to do it on the internet? Well, now you press preview, and there it is. There's my name. Right, that is a web page, and this was the code that did it. Now here's what's funny about web pages, though. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to think that I'm going to put our school address here, that this is going to go underneath. Okay, so I type that in, and I'm proud of myself, and I press save again, and I press preview, and hey, what happened here? My name and Acadia Drive are on the same line. Why did it do that? Well, what you have to realize with HTML is it is not what you see is what you get. What you have to do when you create proper web pages is you have to tell the computer every single little detail. So if I want the computer after my name to go down a line, I have to add a tag. Now this tag in particular is called a break tag, and there it is right there. I'm going to press it. BR. Now I'm going to press save again. And I'm going to preview it. Hey, it's on a different line. Okay, so what you're going to have to start to realize is no matter what you do, you have to be very specific. You have to do the tags for all of this. Now, is there an easier way? Yes, there is. There are programs that sneak all those little codes for you. But for now, like I said, we're going to learn raw HTML. Okay, now what else can you do? Well, let's add another BR here. Okay, and now we're going to go down. Now, just like you can in word processing programs, you can do things like put underlines and texting, and you can have big letters and small letters. Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to, it's sort of considered a font, but in essence it's the size of the lettering, and there's these things called headings. Okay, I'm going to press H1, and look what it did there. It put the H1 and then put me in the middle and then a slash H1, and I'm just going to write down our school name. Okay, and I'm going to preview it again. Whoa, it's in big letters. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next line underneath. Now you might say, sir, why don't you put a BR? With H1s, they actually automatically put in a BR for you. Let's go to H6. What's that one about? I'm just going to call it SJB. And I'm going to preview it. Well, look how small it is. So it looks like these headings, H1 is a huge heading, and H6 is a small heading. Okay, what else can you do? Well, like I said, you can center and things like that. See that right there? That's a centering command. And look, it actually writes the word center. Okay, so again, I'm going to put my name, but this time, when I look at it, it's going to be in the middle. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Now, this one here, you might need a BR. We'll test it out in a second, but there's left and there's right. And there's other things. There's Italic and Bold. Let's try Bold. Okay, let's go with computer. And let's see what that looks like. There it is in Bold. Okay, it's not centered, this one, because it's not inside the centering command. Now you can do combinations too. You can have a center and inside the center a bold, so you could embed those inside of each other. Next we take a look at these things called lists. Now lists are like little things with little circles on them, bullets sometimes, or numbered lists. There's two kinds of lists. So you see over here, we were in standard. We did a couple of things in standard. We went to fonts. Now we're going to press this tab right here called lists. And there's two kinds, I told you. There's that kind, a bullet and a numbered list. I'm going to press that one. And this is called an unordered list. So it's got that word UL. Okay. Now in between there, what you have to do then is you have to use what are called lists. And I'm going to type the number 1. Press this again. I'm going to type 2. Press it again. And I'm going to type 3. And let's take a look at what that looks like. That's a bulleted list. Okay. The second kind is obviously called an ordered list. Okay. You would do it the same way, and it would basically be the same thing, but with numbers 1, 2, 3. All right. This isn't very fun. Let's do some fun stuff. Where are some pictures? Well, here's what you got to do when you do pictures. And what I'll do is I'll start this one fresh. So we'll close this one off, and we'll start on a fresh screen, and I'm going to press save. And before I do the pictures, I know it sounds kind of weird, but you save first. So what I'm going to do is go File, Save As, and you at school are going to have a folder that you're going to copy over from the sharing folder, and it's called CC Demos. And I'm actually going to go inside of it right now, and I'm going to save. I'm going to call this my second demo. And you notice it had the word HTML or HTML at the end of it. That's the endings when you save stuff. So I'm going to call this one second. And if you can see my screen up there, it says second.html. Now the reason I saved, even before I did anything, is I saved in that folder because that's where my pictures are. So if you ever do a website, you got to put everything in one folder, and that's where you save everything. You can't like go all over the place. Everything's got to be in one central area. Now here's how you load in a picture. So let's go back to standard. And there's these little things here. That one says advanced image. This one's insert image quickly. I'm going to use that one. And what's this one? A roll. We don't do that. So we'll do this one. I'm going to press that. And hey, it's pointing to CC Demos. And I'm going to press this thing right here, car. And whoa, that looks kind of weird. Well, here's a special command. This is the image tag. And it says SRC, which is the source, is the picture of the car. That's how wide the picture is and how high it is. This alt I'll explain to you in a second, and border, same thing, I'll explain to you in a second. Let's do a little save first and a preview. There's a car. That's how you put a picture on your program. So what do these things do? Well, let's change these numbers. Let's see what happens now. Well, stretched out the picture. Okay, sometimes you can have it bigger, sometimes you can have it smaller. What are these other things? Change the number of the border. Let's make it a 2. And we'll press preview. Puts a border around it. Last thing, this alt command, what you can do is you can write words in there. Now, here's how you prove that it works. You got to sort of like hover over the picture and wait a couple of seconds, and then it says something when you pop it over. Now, the really cool stuff of using a web page doesn't happen until you start doing things called links. And what you do with links is you basically make a word and say press me, and then have it go somewhere. And you can go to a couple places. You can go to another web page on your own website. You can go to someplace out in the world, somewhere else on the internet. Okay, and that's the two main kinds of links that we're going to look at. Now, it's kind of funny, but it's neat. See, there's a little picture of a chain link there? That's what we're going to use. We're going to press it right now. And the first thing it asks you is, okay, where do you want to go? So I'm going to press this file folder. And remember, I saved this program in here, CC Demos. So I'll have the computer go to, I don't know, another page here. Let's pick this one right here. These are all web pages. Okay, and then I'm going to press OK. And what the computer has done is it said, when you press me, I'm going to go to this page. But watch, something stupid happened. Where is it? I don't see it. Basically, what you have to do is, at that spot right there, you have to write something like, click me. Okay, and then obviously you always save it. And then you preview, and there's the word now. Now watch what happens when I press it. It goes to another page. This is some simple little page I made. Hey, that's cool. How did I do that line? Didn't show you that, right? Let me show you that right now while I got a chance. So first of all, I'll do a BR. I'll go down. That line is called a horizontal ruler. It's that thing right there. When you press it, just press OK. Don't even think about it. And then there it is, that little line. Okay, now let's go down. And let's do the second kind of link. The second kind of link is where you go somewhere on the internet. So that one's a bit trickier, because what you have to do is you have to hand type something. HTTP:/ like that, and then you type in whatever place you want to go. Okay, and again, it doesn't show up when you look at it. So you got to remember, in between, you have to type in something. And then you preview it, and you press it, and in a couple of seconds, it'll start up a browser and take you to Yahoo. Okay, isn't that cool? Now, you can do other kinds of links. You can have pictures as links. So let me start off and do that one. So I'm going to press chain link again. I'll pick some page to go to. Okay, and in between here this time, instead of saying click me or something like that, you can have a picture. So what you do is you go to this thing called quick link again, and you pick a picture. This time I'm going to pick a picture of a piece of pizza. Okay, so now I'm going to press it. There's a piece of pizza. Isn't that kind of funny? When I go over it, there's the finger, which means it's a link, and you press it, and it goes to another screen, kind of crazy screen with different colors. Okay. Now, if you're wondering, sir, how come that Yahoo is sort of beside it? You can put some BRs in there to make the computer go down, and then preview it. And now see how I shifted down the pizza a little bit? Okay. If you think those are too many, you can get rid of a couple until you get it to look like what you want. Okay. And there it is, the link to a different page. Now, you can link to anything, really. We've linked to web pages, sites on the internet. You can link to a movie. You can link to a sound effect, all right? And as long as you've got something on your hard drive, you can link to it. So let's see what else I've got in here. Now, when you look at this, all you're seeing is web pages, but I'm going to press down here and press all, and there's a doorbell sound. It's going to be just a little sound, not a big deal, but I'm going to press it, and then I'm going to say press the bell, and I'm going to preview it, and there's the sound of a doorbell, as weird as it sounds. Okay, so you can do anything. You can press on anything and make it do it. Now you must be asking yourself, hey sir, what are all those cool pages that have the nice backgrounds and different colored lettering and all that kind of stuff? How do you do that?